Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Olsem Wanem. In this episode, we bring you back to school expectations from students, parents, academic teachers, and the Department of Education. To begin with, let's find out the answer to an important question. What is the point of education? And later, we look at the Universal Basic Education Plan 2010 to 2019.
It is an obvious fact that the quality of education offers children, youth, and adults many opportunities in life. But what about those who live in developing countries? Education is a basic human right. It is one of the strongest instruments for reducing poverty and improving health. It can promote gender equality, peace, and stability. Yet despite this, many countries in the developing world are still a long way from meeting the 2015 Millennium Development Goals for education. The target for education is that by 2015, children everywhere, boys and girls alike, will be able to complete a full course of primary schooling. In 2011, 57 million school-aged children were not in school at all. According to the United Nations, education is key to social and economic development. Papua New Guinea is facing significant challenges in educating its people. Education disparities not only exist between genders, but between regions. That is, elementary and primary education at the national and provincial school levels. The areas of focus include universal basic education, education in emergencies and disaster risk education, child-friendly schools, literacy, and early childhood care and development. In 2012, Pacific Regional Medium Development Goals Tracking Report stated that against this national MDG targets, gross enrollment rate of 85% and youth literacy ratio of 70% shows that PNG is slightly lagging behind with regards to access to school and more significantly with regards to retention and youth literacy. The Department of Education lists a large number of in-school as well as out-of-school factors that have negative impact on access, retention, and achievement. In-school factors are those linked to education system, such as lack of education infrastructure, absenteeism, and financial barriers, school fees, textbooks, etc. Out-of-school factors are those linked to parents and the community, such as lack of parental support and community responsibility towards education, low value of education due to limited growth in paid employment opportunities, as well as law and order problems. Which brings us to the focus of universal basic education.
The report titled Universalizing Basic Education in Papua New Guinea Experiences.
What is Universal Basic Education Plan? In 2010, the Minister for Education, James Marape, called on all the citizens to take ownership of the Universal Basic Education Plan, 2010 to 2019. The implementation of the plan began in 2010, when elementary to grade 2 school fees were fully subsidized by the national government. According to the plan, the Department of Education will try as much as possible through the support of other stakeholders to ensure that up to 85% of all school-aged children will have access to basic education by the end of 2019. Running the program was estimated to cost the government 16 billion kina in the 10-year timeframe. It is also expected that this plan will play a key role in the re-education of poverty and societal inequality through the implementation of strategic actions to allow for equal opportunities for all. Identify strategic solutions for certain key issues, such as reforming education management structures and building institutional capacity to allow for attainment of the basic education goals as expressed in the National Education Plan. Major initiatives during the plan period include the construction of new classrooms and new staff houses, and more elementary teachers will be trained and infrastructure will be upgraded.
You're with Olsem Wanem. Next on this edition, we explore the issues surrounding the outcome-based education curriculum, which is said to be removed from the national curriculum and replaced with a more suitable curriculum for Papua New Guinea.
OBE are three letters we hear a lot about. But what do they mean? Outcome-based education is made of methods which are student-centered learning methods that focus on observing what knowledge and performance that should be gained by the student. This is known as the outcome. OBE is different to the traditional education, which primarily focuses on the resources that are available to the student, which are called inputs. PNG is one of the countries in which OBE was introduced since the year 2000 by the Curriculum Reform Implementation Project, or CRIP, sponsored by AusAid. The outcomes-based education replaced the old objectives-based curriculum model. However, over the years, the outcome-based education curriculum has met many challenges in Papua New Guinea. In December 2012, the Prime Minister, Peter O'Neill, publicly announced it was up to the Education Department to back the old syllabus or devise a new one. A series of events over the last 2 years has accumulated to the current situation today.
This emotional debate let us talk some common sense and resolve the challenges that we have in terms of the OBE education system in the country.
Specific corrective methods recommended by the task force are expected to be announced by the Prime Minister in this session of Parliament. Broadly, though, it is believed the review proposes a new curriculum and an exit strategy of the existing OBE system. It proposes medium and long-term measures to achieve genuine improvements in student learning. It is inevitable, though, that there are suggestions on how and who within the Education Department, and also the same to the position of the Secretary of Education. But more importantly, the Education Department's preparedness to open its doors to international practices, what it embraces and what it rejects. Whatever else the OBE review contains, it will become a researched and educated foundation for the government to take its policy on education to the next level. And also on the same but slightly deviating from OBE is the Prime Minister's concern over the Special Agriculture Business Lease Inquiry. SABL cost several million kina, but the final report is well overdue. The OBE inquiry was allocated only 1 million kina, but only a fraction, 160,000 kina, has been used and completed on time.
On behalf of government.
Since taking office, the O'Neill Dion government was concerned that the quality of English in schools has dropped since the introduction of OBE and announced to do away with this curriculum next year. Member for Komo Magarima Francis Potape today asked the Prime Minister to inform the nation on the status of the transition from OBE to the new curriculum and when it would be ready for implementation. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill in response said, while his government's desire was to see OBE abolished as quickly as possible, this might not be achieved next year.
The Minister is now working together with the development partners, in particular with AusAid. We have requested them to help us put a curriculum that we can fit it quickly because of the shortness of the timing that we have. So we are working with development partners, but I fear it might not be ready.
He also raised concerns that the Education Department has not been supporting the government's move to abolish OBE. While responding to concerns raised on the leadership of this department, Mr. O'Neill said Dr. Musave Sinabare was suspended because he didn't show leadership in implementing the government's free education policy. He stressed that the nation demanded good leadership from this department and they must provide that leadership to the people of Papua New Guinea.
This year in 2014, schools around the country continue to use the outcome-based education curriculum, but the Department of Education, teachers, as well as parents, guardians, and students know that it will eventually be phased out altogether. Plans for the new curriculum are not yet released, and only time will tell.
We do have a submission going to Cabinet about the strategies for 2014 in terms of improving the standards-based curriculum model, that is the recommendation emerging from the report as we exit the previous curriculum, which they call the outcome-based education curriculum. Yeah. Now that was the improvement that we're trying to do. Yeah.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. In case you've missed the leading news on education this last few weeks, you can watch them now as we're here to show you what's been going on in the area for education. Education is always a priority, and reaching the news toward the end of last year were these vital issues.
Not all children in this group have been through a formal education system. For some, this is their first. Many of them have been pushed out from the formal education system either because the fees are too high or they come from a broken family.
Students attending secondary schools in Ley City and Papua New Guinea are sharing very small classroom space. The number of students that are in schools have risen to an average of 50 students per classroom. Teachers say while they struggle to educate an increased number of students, incentives owed to them by the government remain outstanding. The teachers say problems of housing, including travel fares and delayed salaries, still remain unresolved.
This year began with issues on standards, schools being questioned, and positively in areas where schools were being upgraded.
In a recent interview with the pioneer teacher and priest, he was very outspoken about the education system in PNG.
This is a very distressing thing that after all of these years and after all the work that's been put into developing education in Papua New Guinea, we have come such a very little way.
He called the education system elitist and discriminatory in the sense that it expels or gets rid of more students than it promotes to the next level.
We're told that there's over 1 million young people in education at all levels. When you look at those figures, you see that education in Papua New Guinea is elitist and discriminatory. We expel, get rid of more children than we educate every year from every grade in school. We get rid of more than we promote to the next grade.
This is due to a school of experience located at Mirane, near the border of Kundiawa-Gambel and Gumini districts of Simbu province. The school offers a second chance to young people who have been left out of the formal tertiary education system. It also provides skills training for adults who wish to be equipped with skills in bricklaying, plastering, concreting, tiling, stone wall paving, painting, and plumbing. The incomplete building that stands within the schoolyard was built by the graduating batch of 2013.
Allen Jones Memorial Primary School, formerly known as Mane Primary, is one of the oldest schools in the Rigo district. It was established in the 1960s by early missionaries, and from there till now, little has been done. Most of the classrooms, offices and teachers' houses are run down. While visiting the area over the weekend, Central Governor Kilahauda came across the school and saw its current state and decided to pledge 100,000 kina to help renovate and improve the school. It was a timely pledge as there were plans to convert the school into a secondary school.
The Allen Jones Memorial School, it's a primary school now, and there are plans down the pipeline by the Department of Education and the Central Province Education. There are plans in the pipeline that says that this school will be converted into a grade 12, or what do you call secondary school.
This is Kemabolo Primary School located in the Rigo district of Central Province. This school is no different to schools throughout the country, but what makes it special is the determination by the surrounding community that saw through the completion of vital school infrastructure. This includes a new library and computer laboratory.
We now officially open the library and the computer lab of Kemabolo Primary School and Elementary Schools.
Funding came from Strong in People, Strong in Nation, an initiative of the Australian government working in partnership with the PNG government to deliver grants and capacity building services to organizations. It aims to promote gender equality and to improve access to health, education, and disability service.
Nothing is impossible.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says the government is fully aware of overcrowding in schools around the country. It also knows that there are kids out there who need to be looked after a little bit better. But he says this problem should not be used to turn away children from enrolling in schools.
That child deserves to be in class and be taught and given that opportunity. So we need to put up with many of these inconveniences like overcrowding.
Mr. O'Neill says where there has been good management, school administrations have used school fees to build more classrooms to cater for the increased number of students. He says such is the case for his electorate in Yalibupangia.
Use those funds to build the infrastructure, classrooms, teachers' houses, and where there is good management, it's happening. You know, some of my own high schools in Yalibu and Pangia, Yalibu High School and Pangia, so they're building classrooms, they're building teachers' houses using the school fee subsidies.
This year, when the school year begins, he has urged school boards and administrations to utilize the funds transparently to address issues of overcrowding and other related problems.
Papua New Guinea's population has reached over 7 million people, according to new data presented this year. And with that figure, the importance of education has become much more of a priority than ever before.
Some of these students have come to school after many years of school fee problems. The principal says that in all his years of teaching, students have never exceeded the numbers that he counts today as over the normal quota.
For the first time, we have seen 63 students in a classroom. That was the first time in my life as a teacher and a principal to see.
That child deserves to be in class and be taught and given that opportunity. So we need to put up with many of these inconveniences like overcrowding.
In my class we have 85 students, so only one teacher, and in the class, the boys, they make like many noise and fighting. So our teacher sometimes she gets mad and leave us, and we stay like no teachers, and she goes on.
Our school is like thousands of students in one class, is almost like 100, but actually from my class we are 65 in one class, and that's just only one teacher that teaches.
So me plan mama me plan second challenge lo future blol beginning lo future blong all too lo good place down lo behind time.
Papua New Guinea is still largely uneducated. We really haven't succeeded to a great extent.
Despite all the challenges within Papua New Guinea's education system, students and teachers are looking forward in going back to school.
The school is like read and write and play.
Me make grade 3. Na me inside the school, me like read, learning math.
When I go out, I want to be an engineer.
To be somebody in the future and look after my family members.
In future, I want to be an environmental scientist because it's good to discover animals, plants.
Behind time la ka pilot. Me almost look papa na mo put me school because all not picking on so go school.
I go to school at Caritas Technical Secondary School. I'm in grade 9 this year. I'm looking forward to go to school this year.
Hi, from Grandma. I'm Trisa from 12.4 and see you guys this year.
Teachers have been working around the clock to get things organized.
Male. 1, 2, 3, 2 female, doesn't matter. So we are all prepared to start with the students on Monday.
We're all geared up. We're looking forward to next week. My teachers and I have started everything that is required of them as teachers. First day we are starting. They have all their basic materials supplied to them. They're looking through their textbooks now. They're halfway through their programs. And what is required of them is almost complete. We do a check on Friday. All the supervisors do a check on Friday. And there they go.
Children all around the country in the national education system will commence school on Monday, the 3rd of February. You can visit the Education Department website where the 2014 school calendar is available. Children in Papua New Guinea are not alone. Here is one to remember all children around the world. A photo exhibition launched by SIPA Press, UNESCO, and Velio Transdev, Journeys to School, tells an inspiring story of girls and boys' journey to school. It is not about misery and isolation, but courage and determination. And that concludes this edition of Olsem Wanem. Wherever you are in the country, we wish our students, parents, guardians, and teachers a happy and productive first week for the academic year of 2014. We'll be following up with schools around the country as well as the Department of Education to be sure to keep sharing your stories and messages. Send them via the contact info showing on your screen. Don't forget to look at our Facebook page where you can watch all your episodes if you have missed out. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your viewing on your #1 station and TV.